Well, greetings and salutations, one and all. Back again is the Super Review Show's mixed bag coming to you live once again from two caves tonight. Not three, not four, but two caves tonight. I am joined by our esteemed panel of panelists and movie aficionado, Justin Favara. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I wish we had better news to be covering tonight, but
Yes. Couldn't agree
this
more.
this is what we have been dealt.
Yes, we've been dealt with a pretty hefty topic in the world of entertainment, unfortunately. So full disclosure, everyone, right from the get-go on this episode of the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag, as the title of our podcast alludes to, we're going to be talking about the U.S. movie tariffs that our president of the United States has imposed on all foreign films and a majority of other films across the U.S. different states as well. Um, Full disclosure, and I say this in a very, very, very generic statement. We are not a political podcast. We never talk politics unless it regards to something in the entertainment industry. This is one of those very, very, very few and rare examples where
Yes.
we'll be discussing politics and film and the entertainment world that you consume on your streaming device. You're
And
and
we
us.
are going to be as objective as we possibly can, given the circumstances. And by given the circumstances, we mean we don't exactly know how this is all going to play out.
No, we have
Um,
no idea.
and that mostly has to do with they're not really saying much. They're not really
No.
giving out much information on how this is going to be implemented. 100% tariff on all films made outside of America.
Yep. That's
Um,
what our leader said.
here's the question. Um, where's the tariffs going to be implemented? Is it going to be on production costs? Is it going to be on ticket sales? Is it going to be on and I first off I want to thank Dan Merle
Yes.
who broke this down in an amazing video that he did on his channel. Um
Yes.
he really helped me understand this. But like, is it going to be on the gross or net? We just don't know how this is going to be implemented. Is it just going to be on films that are getting the tax rebate, or is it going to be on every single film being shot outside of the US? Um,
It's a very true point. I mean, to Justin's point in general, when the president of the United States um, made this tariff announcement for all foreign films, it was kind of almost, and this is just our perspective of it as film goers, as out of theater reaction goers, and other moderators of modern art. We were a little bit taken back by it, like, oh, what does he mean? Does he mean we're going to actually have, like, as Justin was saying, is this going to affect the cost of the tickets? Is this going to cost the effect of the production itself? What are the movie studios in the UK, in all of Europe or Japan going to be affected? We're going to try and break it down the best we can for you tonight.
well, I'm just gonna make one comment. I don't think it's gonna affect ticket prices.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, I think it's going to affect um how much money a movie would need to make to be considered a hit.
Okay. I mean that makes sense to me too. Actually, now that you say that, so
Um, for example, um, say a movie was made for 20 million pounds in the UK.
yep, 20 million pounds UK, like a James Bond, well, not James Bond, but a film like that. Okay.
Um, and they get distribution in the US.
hmm
Traditionally, they would need to make about $50 million to break even.
Just to break even. Yeah, that's oof.
Traditionally.
Okay.
That's considering production costs, 20 million,
Mhm.
and printed at an advertising, which could be like another 20 or 30 million.
Correct.
So you would need that, not not to mention the theaters get their cut.
They have to, yeah. And that's how they stay open.
So yeah, like $50 million they would need to break even. Um Now you have the tariff on top of that, 100% tariff. Now,
Yeah.
let's just say that tariff just applies to the 20 million. That's still an additional 20 million you need to make to break even. So that $20 million movie needs to make $70 million to break even.
Yikes. That's no guarantee for the movie either. The
20 million pounds.
20 minute I understand what you're saying. Like the movie, like it's oh, how to explain this without as a film goer, as we're film goers, Justin and I are. Bill does out of the we do out of the theater reactions for you guys. This is just to us in the U.S. We apologize to our outside of the country listeners and watchers and viewers of
N-
our content
Now,
for this because this is just insane. I mean, it makes sense after the 2023 strikes,
Now, JT,
but
can you
still,
do me a favor and
yes,
pull up the posts that the president um
sure. One
made on
second.
this?
Oh dear God.
S- because we want to try and understand his reasoning behind this action.
Yes, let me just pull it up really quick right here. That's 100% tariff on movie tariff news. So if you're listening to us and after we've recorded this, just bear with us a second. I'm going to pull up something with. Hold on a second. Let me just do this. So I'm pulling up a little bit of some information for you here regarding this. Let's go to the BBC for a sec. So he's saying that 100% tariffs on movies that are not made in the United States.
All right,
You want me
so find the quote.
the exact quote. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, I want to read the quote.
All right. The U.S. president said on Sunday he was authorizing to commence Department of Start. Hold on. I'm going to read it from the beginning. Sorry, everyone. President Trump says he will talk to movie Hollywood executives after earlier today for his announcement to hit films and made in foreign countries with a 100% tariff sent shockwaves through the industry. The U.S. president also said on Sunday that he was authorizing the Commerce Department, if I could read for my life, the process to start imposing the leave on America's films for a very fast, which was
Okay,
starting a
I
very
don't think
fast.
we need to read the entire article. I was just referring to the quote that he posted on his social medias.
What's this one right here? I'm sorry.
Um,
Oh, and this is, because we're very neutral on our social media. We don't follow them, so
no, of course not.
of course. But no, was it? Is it right here? This, we want to make movies in America again, right now.
Hang on, I'm
All right,
pulling it up.
I'll find it too. Hold on, I gotta find it. I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay, here it is.
All right, send it to me. Pay the tariffs. Thank you. Sorry
Okay.
about that. Okay. All right, here's the quote. There you go. Thank you, dear friend Justin. So, all right, this is what our very old man president has said about the movie industry.
Bill, I mean JT.
Sorry, I had to. The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas in the U.S. are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the U.S. Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. Thank you, Justin,
Okay.
for sharing that. I stopped sharing my screen.
So
Talk to me, buddy.
the first half of what he said was right.
Correct. It's true. He's not wrong.
Um, it has been what we traditionally know as Hollywood is a shell of itself. It really is. Because production has been leaving Hollywood more and more every year. Like before the pandemic,
Yeah, well before
the the big
Harry
the
Potter.
big I was actually gonna say the big player was Georgia.
Oh, I think I meant like Harry Potter, like franchise wise. But go on.
No. The big location that all the productions was going to was Georgia because Georgia has a 20% tax credit if you shoot there,
Oh,
plus 10% if you include the Made in Georgia logo in your credits.
okay.
You know that logo with the peach?
Yes, the peach logo. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Um, so a potential total of 30%. Now, you do realize what that means. Like a tax credit of 30%. Say you have $100 million Marvel movie. I know, kind of a low budget for a Marvel movie, but let's just pretend.
Yeah, and they film a lot there too in Georgia.
They do. They film so much in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Um and let's say they film all of it in Georgia. That $100 million that they spent, they would get 30 million back.
It's a pretty big chunk of change right there.
Hmm. So when you have countries with up to 32% tax incentives,
Oh dear
like
God.
like Ireland,
Yep, we'll talk about that in a second.
can you really blame these production companies for leaving the US to make films where it's gonna be cheaper and they can get more bang for their buck?
Nothing wrong with that.
So, yeah. And it is devastating on US jobs, on US resources.
Of course, understandably so too.
And so I understand where the president's coming from besides the propaganda stuff. That's just, I don't know. That's just political. Um
But yeah,
but this is going to devastate the entire film market, I feel like. It's just
I agree. I agree.
it's
I
going to
actually,
be
yeah, go ahead.
it's going to be harder for foreign films to get uh domestic distribution
Mm-hmm.
because uh studios are going to have to pay more um because of the tariff in order to get distribution rights. Um uh, like it's going to destroy the foreign film market. It really is. Like
Yeah, this is really bad.
The uh the one
Let
thing I can really think of is maybe the streamers might be exempt because there's always streaming has always been like this big loophole when it comes to film and TV.
correct. And
Remember that was a big sore spot with the strikes.
yes, and then the strikes definitely proved that point too. Yeah.
So it might come to a point where if um they can't get a distribution through the theaters, they're gonna have to go through the streamers.
And I just want to talk about that for a split second. There, streaming in general. I had this conversation, believe it or not, with my grandmother the other day, and she said, "Well, why don't they just skip movie theaters and go straight to streaming?" Like she understands all of it too. She might be 80 years old, but she still understands all of it. And it drives me. It makes me really stop and think. And I told her, I tried to explain to her how it's an ecosystem. You have to put it in theaters, then it has longevity on streaming. Then more people will watch it on streaming. It's just the truth. Like the movie theaters themselves, they need to have these films in theaters. That's why Netflix was doing so poorly for like all of 2022. It's just on a side note, but yeah,
It is that first big splash of exposure.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, like it's kind of like the same logic with like a YouTube video.
What we do
The
here,
the first 48 hours of views is critical.
it is.
Um,
It honestly is.
that's probably where you're gonna get most of your views. Um, and then it's gonna stall. You might have I mean, obviously it's only gonna go up,
Hmm.
but
It's yeah. No, you're right. I wanted to touch on for a second, if you don't mind, how this is going to affect. We're talking about like Marvel films or Star Wars films, like big budget Hollywood tentpole films, like even a Star Trek movie.
yeah,
Let's be real for a second. Independent film is screwed. I'm
very
just saying,
much so.
literally, like
This is
the smaller films are done.
this is gonna this is gonna force bigger budget movies to reduce their budgets. It's gonna make smaller movies not happen at all
Yeah.
because everything just got more expensive to make. Because sure, we want to bring production back to the US, but the reason why production left the US in the first place is because the US became too expensive.
Uh huh.
We're not we're putting a band-aid over a festering wound.
Literally, and as far as the film industry goes, absolutely, we are. And Justin's our film expert. He knows this. Drives me nuts too.
like like if we want to bring film production back to the US, we're gonna have to do some of major stuff. We're gonna have to either increase tax incentives on state levels, um, which governors, senators, they all need to get involved in that. Um, Newsom mentioned federal tax incentive for films.
Yep.
Um,
Gavin Newsom of California, because
I
that's
just don't think that this current administration would do that, considering that the past few months has been dedicated to cutting spending.
yep, yep. You're absolutely right.
So that leaves the studios eating the cost and and accepting the tariffs or bringing or the higher cost of shooting in the US, and that's just going to lead to fewer movies being made,
And let's be
lower
real, guys.
lower budgets, fewer movies being made.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, for those of you who know us, or know of our show, know of our podcast, know of our YouTube channel, we love going to the movies. It's a wonderful time out. It's probably the cheapest date option you have for those of you who live in the U.S. too. Like if you want, I mean, Chris Rock said at one point, like the movies are probably the cheapest date you can do, but it's still effective. So, I mean, movies are an essential part of American culture, worldwide culture for that matter. Going to the Star Wars in '77 with the Man's Chinese Theater. It's a historical moment in our culture, and sure enough, it unfortunately the implement of these 100% tariffs on it's not made in America, whatever, it's fine. We're gonna put a tariff on that, sure, whatever. Insane. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying for the entertainment industry though, they are screwed with this. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, I just want to say this really quick. One of my favorite films over the last probably 10 years might be The Big Sick from Amazon. If you guys have never seen The Big Sick, stop listening and watching us and watch The Big Sick with what's the actor's name? He's in a ton of stuff.
Male Nanjiani.
Yeah, that guy. Thank you. He was so good in that, and that was a Amazon Studios movie for what, like $20 million. They made the thing. They paid the cast. They did the whole thing. It's a cute, I love The Big Sick. You're telling me that the movies like that, independent film or smaller budget films, are shot because of this? That is going to hurt. Not only forget the actors wanting to be in these movies. Forget that too. The producers of these movies and the studio independent production companies like Fox's Searchlight Pictures or things like that are going to be screwed.
Yeah.
It's just a sad part. We have a chat board comment. I want to bring it up for a sec. Why do I feel like that because of the tariffs, the streaming services are going to dominate over movie theater goers? But couldn't that also mean the increased prices in streaming services? That's a good point too. So what Allison, our dear friend Allie, is saying, that because she couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, she wanted to just drop this in. Could streaming services go up in price too because of this implementing rule that because it's not in the U.S. What could happen?
Well, that's where things get tricky. Is one, no mention of TV.
Oh no, forget
This
it.
whole
Yeah.
thing.
No. The British television.
And two, streaming again has been this very gray area, this very vague, mysterious, I don't know what. It's just like they just don't know how to really define it. Like we'll call it movies, but they'll call it content, and to them that definition is all the difference they need to get away with anything. Hence the 2023 strikes.
Which had a big impact on everything too. Let's not forget that. So speaking of just want to bring this up, Justin. We have a visitor coming on to discuss this too, if that's okay.
Sure.
So, and she's she's back once again. She'll be here in a second, but Allie's going to jump in for a second because I've said this before. Say it again. We do the show live on YouTube Wednesday nights EST, and we discuss anything in the world of movies, music, and television, and occasional sports. Let's be real. Every once in a while, but no, I mean, just independent film though. I don't know how this is going to affect them or go well with it. It's going to be crazy. That's all I'm saying is that it's going to drive me nuts. So, but yeah, she'll be here in a sec. Any other things you want to mention specifically, Justin, or no? before we have our guests come on. You're a little sick. Sorry about that, bud.
Nah, you're okay.
COVID.
No, it's not COVID. My
Just
God.
kidding. We're good. We're good. No worries. Anyways.
Again, it's just we just don't know how this is going to be implemented.
No.
Like, all we can do right now is assume.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
go ahead.
all the studios went on emergency calls like as soon as this news dropped.
Yep. Yeah. And not only that too, I'll bring her on in 1 sec. I just want to raise a point too. A lot of big franchise films that we review here, a lot of those big films are shot in other countries too. Like the Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Hello, Allie. Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning that comes out later this month in May of 2025. A lot of it, Justin, was filmed in other parts of the world. Like a lot of those.
Of course. And keep this in mind. Post-production VFX, most of it is done overseas. Like they just ship it overseas.
True.
Like that was the case for a lot of animation in the 90s.
Mhm.
They shipped it over to Japan.
Doesn't Marvel do anything in the? They do a lot of post stuff in the UK, right?
I thought they've done like a lot of I thought they've done a lot of filming as well in Europe for Marvel Studios. But
well, they do a lot.
That's also going to cause an increase in the movie price tickets too, if you realize it. With just this tariff, it's like I hate going political on this.
I don't think it's going to affect ticket prices. I think it's going to just affect the amount of movies that are going to be made.
I just, you know what I mean. It's like less movies. It's like, how do I say, more demand. Something like that in economics. More demands for movies, but less supply equals a raise in price.
It's a true point.
And going off to the streaming thing, they could divide content into short content, long content. Anything under like an hour.
Yeah.
Versus like hour 15 plus. That's where it could probably hit you with the increase in prices.
Oh boy. All I know is that it's very upsetting news for the entertainment industry. Unfortunately, it's very sad that we have to deal with this type of unfortunate hit to the industry.
Yeah.
Is it time for another strike?
I mean, in Hollywood, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are already revolting about it.
Actually, they could spend 2 years.
What do you mean by spend 2 years?
Contracts are up.
I mean, they could, but
it's time for me to bring the Squidward quote back.
Oh dear God!
I don't have it with me yet, but still. But still. Because that could also be the potential right there.
Yeah. I mean, anything. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, is that with these tariffs, you know, there's going to be protests in the Hollywood industry. Don't you think? What is it? The Writers Union could go on there. The actors, whatever the Actors Association is, like what we did 2 years ago. Just watch. Put in those words. They can go back.
So to Ali's point, though, and for those who don't know what a tariff is, I just Googled what the definition of it is. A tariff is a tax or duty to be paid on a particular class of imports or exports. So, like, I'll give you an example. We live in New York. I'm not telling you where we are exactly, but
I'm not from New York anymore, so
no, Ali moved, but she's okay. She's doing great.
Yeah.
We sometimes a lot of places around New York State specifically, like, get a lot of imports from other countries. Like they get like Italian foods, or they get Irish cheeses or or wine from France. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of other stuff. So if you're saying you're going to tariff or even Canadian bacon, like ham, you know what I mean? Because we're on the border of it. We're a border state if you think about it. I'm just saying now you're going to tax entertainment or tariff entertainment. This is something I didn't see coming, but I will say, Justin, we'll be back in a second. But this is just something that's very scary for as lifelong fans of all of us here at the Super Review Show, fans of entertainment and fans of the movie going experience, the fan, the just this is just a sad day for all of us here, and it's a very sad day for the entertainment industry as a whole. Like, we're gonna have like tariffs on like musical imports too. Of like, oh, this artist can't sing here or whatever. You're Canadian or you're Venezuelan.
Would not be surprised with what this country's going for right now.
I know it's crazy.
I would be surprised if we get tariff on breathing.
The tariff on breathing. I hope not.
Yeah,
our breathing.
I did not want to, for some reason I had that up somehow. It's one of those weird thoughts. I was like, oh God, what are we gonna do? Pay taxes? Pay a fine just to breathe?
No, I know. I was never getting sidetracked from our regular conversation. But still, I mean, this is a big hit. I mean, I was bringing up Harry Potter before with Justin. I don't know if you heard this or not, but with Harry Potter films when they were juggernaut, millions and millions of dollars went to Warner Brothers for those films, and a lot of those films were shot across the world, like different, like or look at
mostly in the
UK or like.
Lord of the Rings was New Zealand.
Lord of the Rings was in New Zealand. Mission Impossible did their Dubai tower scene in Dubai. So I just hope that there's some sense is knocked into some like regardless if it was.
I just need to know one thing. What? No offense. What kind of drugs is this president taking?
Okay, we're not going to go there, but
I'm not going to go there. But
no.
It's just the curiosity.
We're trying to avoid this.
We're trying to avoid that. Now, Justin, I was just mentioning how like for a lot of films that we have across in the U.S. actually have a lot of were shot in other countries. So that's a good question too. Like with the tariff thing happening, to film, could it be possible that like any shot in like a film shot in, let's say, Australia, a film shot in the UK, are those films? But they're like they're made by Warner Brothers in the US. They're made by Paramount in the US. Like Mission Impossible, I just brought that up. Mission Impossible is coming out later this month. We're gonna review it. But Mission Impossible was filmed partly in like France or Italy. Does that mean like does that mean how is that going to affect this? Do we know anything about that at all? Like,
we don't know yet. That's the problem. Is they didn't explain the plan yet. And that's probably because he only has concepts of a plan.
Unfortunately, I believe you're right. So I'd want to say this out loud to all of our listeners across the globe, and some of us and our U.S. listeners. We apologize to the world. We apologize for having poor leadership in our leaders. I say that as our leader of the Super Review Show. Poor leadership can get you like this.
I'm sorry, Bill's not here, so
if Bill's on vacation, that's why he's not here this week. I'm sorry.
I think we gave him the axe.
We fired Bill.
Yes, we did. We did.
We didn't actually fire Bill. No. But no, seriously. Like,
hashtag cancel Bill. Hashtag actually worked.
Hashtag actually worked. There you go. See, Justin knew it was right the whole time.
But Bill pesticide actually worked.
I mean, now here's a good question too about the movie Tariffs and what went on too. Could the film, like, aren't some cameras produced in like? Could the actual film property, like cameras, lights, set design?
True. I mean, we don't know. I hate to say what you guys are talking about with the tariff.
I mean, look. Yeah. If you're shooting in the UK, you're gonna use gear from the UK.
Right.
If you're in the US, you're probably gonna get gear in the US.
Yeah. Okay. That's I wasn't sure about that because like if they tariff that, then
because they don't. The production companies don't own the gear. They usually rent those out. Rent that gear out.
That's true. They do rent.
But where do they rent
No, I
them?
work for a rental house.
Yeah,
That's the
in
question.
France, in the UK, I shouldn't say the UK, in England. Sorry, in England, Ireland, France, South Africa. Anyone? Like Australia, India.
Yeah.
This is just a very
It's just
stressful.
vague right now on what is actually going to be taxed.
Yeah, they said 100% tariffs on every single foreign film. Now,
Foreign made film.
foreign made.
Foreign made, but what percentage of it has to be foreign made?
Yeah, but I think that they have to break it down. You know,
Who knows? This might be something where they would have to like audit like every single expense. Like, okay,
Mhm.
what we spent in the UK, this is what we spent in the US, this is what we spent in Australia, yada yada yada. I don't know why I went with only English speaking countries, but that's where my mind went.
you meant to say. I'm just kidding. You meant to say Uganda.
As exactly
there's no
what I was
jurisdiction.
trying to say.
Why
Justin
do
was
we have Brazil? Come on.
or like Chile or Venezuela or Peru. Anyone?
Okay, I think you went a little over.
Refocus.
Canada. No, we love our Canadian listeners and viewers. We love you guys. Go. Who's in the hockey playoffs? The Maple Leafs? I forget. I don't know.
I don't know. Bill's not here. That's a
Bill's
sports
not
committee thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Go
sorry.
find out on that channel.
I had to. Sorry.
That's the thing with the ball, right?
That's a puck.
Justin, hockey has a puck.
I
And it
have
shoots
one
like
job.
85 miles an hour off the
Oh my
puck.
God, the hockey fans here.
I like hockey.
I have
Sorry.
one job.
You had one job, and there's a lot of. I'm not gonna go there. All right, no worries. But this movie tariff thing, guys. Bottom line, this is a very stressful situation for me in a U.S. trade war with everything going on. I don't know. Is there anything else we know for a fact, or we're just kind of speculating at this point still?
It's more speculation at this point. We don't know all the details. Let's just
this
say the
point, it
words
really
mean nothing
is
until the
just-
action takes place.
It really is just speculation at this point because we don't. It's not in effect as of yet. We don't know what exactly is going. As I said ad nauseum tonight, we don't know exactly what the tariff is going to be implemented on. Ticket sales, gross, production costs. We don't know.
Right. And Justin raised a good point about saying this from the very start of today. He said something about I forget exactly word for word what you said, but it was so brilliant. You said something along the lines of like, it wasn't my independent. I forget exactly what it was you said.
Regarding
Just like the don't kill me. I forget what it was. Sorry, but you said it was great. What you said was really good. I was like, oh my god, that's pretty good. So
was it when I was breaking down the cost of
Yeah.
what a movie would need to make to break even?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, for example,
Yeah.
we have a movie that was made in the UK for 20 million pounds, right?
Yes.
Which isn't the pounds like maybe $1.20 US dollars?
Just say it's like $30 million.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's say it's $30 million.
30 million US dollars.
Yes, 30 million US dollars. That movie gets a US distributor.
Mm-hmm.
And prints and advertising is an additional $25 million. Then movie theaters would need to take their cut, obviously. So I'm gonna add another $10 million to that.
Mm.
A movie would need that foreign movie would need to make 65 million to break
Mhm.
even.
Hmm.
That's now. Once
Yeah.
the tariffs come into play,
Oh, forgot it.
a 100% tariff would mean that $30 million budget, add another $30 million to that,
60 million.
plus the prints and advertising, plus the theater's
That's
cut.
double everything, really.
No. Not double everything, just the production budget.
Right. Go on.
Hmm.
So now that $30 million movie needs to make $95 million to
To
break
break
even.
even. That's crazy. That's insane. So, I don't know. Is there anything you guys wanted to add for that? Thank you for that, by the way. Is there anything you both wanted to add for any of this at all or no? I think we
I
kind
said
of.
my piece, really.
I think Justin said his piece too. Justin, are you good though?
I'm at the point where I'm repeating myself, so I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Justin,
fair.
we have to do another strike video in the next 3 months.
There you go. So yeah, we will figure this out. Actually, we'll figure this out. We're just podcasters, but no, I'm praying that we get the situation squared away, and I'm praying it doesn't affect us too much. Hopefully, it doesn't get too expensive for us in the U.S. because I hate that word, expensive. I hate it, but it's because
There's another word to it. It's called we're dealing with a stagflation within for the next 6 months or so.
Uh-huh.
If you don't know it, Google it. The last time this happened was Nixon.
Yep.
Thanks to my dad mentioning that many times when I think this is a recession, but it's not.
Well, time will tell. Well, obviously, in the U.S., we're doing our best here. But we're gonna keep chugging away and plugging away to make sure that you are entertained out there by us. Just saying. So, is that it, guys? That's it, right?
Yeah, that's my piece.
All right. I really didn't. I didn't have much else to say, only because I mean I did my research, but it was a hard topic to talk about specifics. But I think we pretty much nailed it on the head. That's just my opinion. So
Yeah, this was definitely a crash course on a lot of this for me.
yeah,
It's very interesting, but also makes me a little scared for the future.
we don't know what next year's gonna
Haven't I
hold.
been scared already?
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff.
Well, the future of film.
All right.
I'm serious.
Who has the vodka?
I do not. So
I have something else.
oh god. All right. Well, on that note, we want to thank you for watching this thing. However, you enjoy tonight. Thanks so much for tuning into the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag. It's a big dilemma we got going on here in the U.S. We're gonna try and, but listen, us as podcasts, as you out there listening to us, thank you for listening to us, and we'll keep you updated on everything that goes on. Please subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Don't forget to follow us on our social media page as well. Simply at the Super Review Show. But for all of your for this episode of Mixed Bag, Justin, I want to thank you. I want to thank Justin and Allie for doing this podcast with me always. Allie, it's good to see you again.
I decided to swing by. But I don't know. I felt like it.
Good.
After watching.
I'm glad you came on. So, but yeah, but for all of us here at the Super Review Show, please, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. But stay safe, take care, and
be awesome.
Be awesome.
be awesome.